Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be a Will I Bite video. This video concept was basically inspired by Samantha March. She does a series of the same name in which the whole entire concept and whole entire idea of it is that you talk about makeup releases and whether or not you want to get them and why. So there are quite a few things to talk about this week. I'm looking at my computer screen and there are a lot of items. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. The thing that probably everybody is going bananas over is the new spring launch from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which features the Riviera palette, which is this eyeshadow palette right here. It also features a setting spray, which is called Dewy Set, and 3 loose highlighters. The highlighters I'm actually quite excited by. You guys know, if you watch my channel, how much I love a really great loose highlighter. Those I really do like. And we also have the eyeshadow palette, which is, if you will, like the first really colorful Anastasia Beverly Hills palette that we have seen in a very long time. You guys know how much I love color. You guys know that I'm obsessed with it. So I guess a lot of you guys might expect that I would get very excited over this palette, that I would want to immediately get my hands on it. But as a matter of fact, that is not quite true. I am looking at this palette and I'm not too obsessed with it. I appreciate the fact that they do have several gradients of pinks. You have like quite a few color options and I like that, but then at the same time I'm not like into this palette. I just think that I already own so many of these shades, and for some reason, like, I'm no longer feeling that excited by many Anastasia Beverly Hills launches, and unfortunately, this is just one of them. Plus, like, my question is, if it's called the Riviera palette, why are most of the colors pink? That is my question. Like, that is my curiosity. I do think that if you guys want to see a really awesome redesign, Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner did a really great video in which she basically did an entire redesign of the Riviera palette, and I will say that I like her redesign a lot better than the actual palette, and if you guys are interested in seeing a good redesign, just check her video out. But yeah, I'm looking at this palette and I'm like, not a lot of things are really exciting for me in here. It's just not something that I want to spend money on. So really this entire collection is just not really fun for me. So I'm not going to be getting this. I do want to commend Anastasia Beverly Hills for finally coming out with some colorful eyeshadows. But I do want to say as well that in the campaign, a lot of the looks for the campaign looked quite neutral. I mean, if you're coming out with like a really colorful eyeshadow palette, why not make the campaign photos a little bit more fun? That's just my question, my curiosity, if you will. But yeah, I'm just like not too into this palette. I'm just not. BH Cosmetics has been sneak peeking this new collaboration with Daisy Marquez, and they finally have a full reveal of the palette. Now, this is a palette that I actually really do like. Do I like it enough to get it? No, I do not. However, I think that's a really cool palette, and I think that they did a really good job. The swatches look beautiful, and the color story is actually quite interesting as well. You definitely have some beautiful warm tones, like really fiery warm tones in there, and yet you have like some really interesting lighter colors as well. I feel like this is like a really cool, fun palette. Considering that there are so many shades in the palette, I think this palette was done pretty well because you have a lot of variation and you don't have a lot of repeating colors, because a lot of times when you have like a really huge palette, sometimes the colors like literally look so similar you could play like a matching game, which is a little bit annoying, but the colors here look very well thought out. It just looks really great. I don't necessarily know who Daisy Marquez is, so I can't really say anything about her, but I really do like the palette that she created. I also really want to talk about this new Zodiac installment for BH Cosmetics. Now, they have been doing something that By Beauty did like last year, which is pretty much releasing a new makeup product every single month for the zodiac sign that corresponds to that month. Now, this time it is Pisces, and they're coming out with this eyeshadow palette right here. Now, I think that like the first one that I saw was Capricorn, and Capricorn was boring. I believe that they just had like neutral browns for the entire palette, which if you're a Capricorn and you love color, I feel like that would have been very sad because like the colors just looked so basic. And unfortunately, I have to say the same thing for this palette right here. What I see here is a palette that looks green, but the most of the green that I'm seeing is in the packaging and not in the actual pans, if that makes any sense. I don't really like this palette. I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, those are like a few greens in there. Like there are some greens in there. But if you took the pans and took them out of the packaging, you would have essentially a selection of neutrals with a few pops of color. And yes, about half of the colors in here, give or take, are colorful shadows, and you know, that's great. But I think that what BH Cosmetics wants to do is that they want to create interest around these palettes, and I feel like in their ideal world, people would be buying these palettes every single month. So, if that's what you're aiming for, okay, if that's what you're aiming for, why are you including neutral browns in every single palette that we've seen so far? It just doesn't make much sense. I hope that they're not going to run with this habit moving forward, but this palette is okay in my mind, but it's really nothing special. Something else from BH Cosmetics, I'm kind of going on a BH Cosmetics tangent here, if you will, is the Opalescent palette, which is a travesty. I know, okay, I'm trying to like be a little bit funny, I'm trying to be a little bit sarcastic, but it's kind of a travesty. Not a travesty, but like, you know. Think of the name opalescent, okay? What do you imagine would be in an opalescent palette? You probably will be seeing a lot of like really light pastel tones, maybe a few metallics, maybe like a duochrome or two. But then you get this palette right here and you're wondering what the heck happened. I've just been blindsided by BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics, what have you done to me? My eyes. I know. It's a little bit intense. Maybe I'm overreacting, but still, come on, opalescent, and then a neutral palette with a pop of purple in the corner. Like, no. There's really nothing that I've seen from BH Cosmetics in a while that I'm just like excited by. The only thing that I see as a glimmer of hope is like the collaboration that they just did that I mentioned earlier in this video. But honestly, this opalescent, are you kidding me? No. Now, I have to talk about another BH Cosmetics item. Honestly, they're just giving me like more and more fuel for my fire. This Hangin' in Hawaii palette. Okay, so I was like looking at this palette and my first reaction was, are you kidding me? Because they're releasing a palette that's like Hawaii themed, but then this comes along. So it's kind of like Hawaii is honestly one of the most rich and color saturated states in the US, okay? So when you come out with a Hawaii themed palette, I would think that you're maybe doing like a play on like the leis of Hawaii and you want to include some colorful like flowery colors. Maybe you want to include something that's based on the foliage, on the flora, fauna, maybe like you maybe want to create something that's like beach themed with like a few blues. But they don't do that. They release a very neutral palette. The other thought that they might be doing here, I'm just trying to like just think from their point of view and think why they would come out with a palette like this. Maybe they're trying to come out with a beachy vacation themed palette. Like if you want to go to Hawaii, you probably, well, if you're a typical person, you probably don't want to wear a lot of makeup on the beach. So maybe you might be looking at this palette and you might be like, oh yeah, this is a fun travel, beach, vacation friendly palette. But then again, it's a little bit too big for that. So it's kind of like you're playing with this fun, amazing concept and you're not coming out with anything interesting. Like what's going on? What's happening? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I'm scared. I'm kidding. But still. What's going on? Huda Beauty is coming out with a new lip product. Now these are called Power Bullets and they are supposed to have maximum comfort, maximum pigmentation, cool and warm tones with a diamond shaped tip, which makes it easy for application. Now these are the shades that they have. Very matte, very pretty. Initially when I looked at this, I was quite confused because right now, like I'm looking at like makeup trends and where everything is going, and people seem to be quite disinterested in anything matte when it comes to the lips. So I was confused as to why Huda Beauty was launching a matte lip product, but then I was like, oh wait, yes, it's a bullet, it's a lipstick. And I think, I might be wrong, I don't think I am. I definitely think that lipsticks are making a comeback. I think that people are looking to lipsticks a little bit more favorably than they were, say, 2 years ago. So I feel like she is on trend with this, like in like a little bit of a different way. She is coming out with a new set of lipsticks at a time when people are kind of like renewing their love of lipstick in a way. So yes, I do like that second nude, like that second nude from the left. Ooh, so pretty. I know, I love a nude. I love a good nude. I should probably like just like calm down with my love and obsession for nudes because it's a little bit basic considering how wild I like to go when it comes to eyeshadow. But yeah, I love a good nude. Color Drain is coming out with a new collection. It's going to be safari themed, and they're going to drop an eyeshadow palette and a few lipsticks as well. Now the eyeshadow palette is going to be $39. The lipsticks are going for $15 each. Now, I can't say that I'm particularly interested in this collection. However, I think Color Drain pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one. They're coming out with a safari themed palette, and the colors in the palette, there are 9 pans, the colors in the palette resemble that theme to a T. You have your browns because we're talking safari here, and you have your greens, and you also have like your earthy oranges. So in a sense, this is a colorful makeup palette, but it's done in a very good way. So you have like a lot of wearable tones, but at the same time, it's colorful and it's safari themed. It's not like a palette full of browns with like a pop of green and they're calling it safari. It's actually very well done in my personal opinion. The packaging represents the palette really well. I really like it. The lipsticks as well. Like the lipsticks are packaged really nicely. I'm really into that. And pretty much every single lipstick is one that I really do like and kind of do want. The eyeshadow palette, I'm not like into it because I can pretty much dupe every single one of those shades, and I feel like I should like just cool off on eyeshadow palettes for a bit. Watch me get another eyeshadow palette in like 2 seconds, of course, but like the eyeshadow palette I'm not too interested in. However, the lipsticks are so pretty. Okay, so IT Cosmetics is coming out with a new foundation formula. It is going to be called Confidence in a Foundation, and it is supposed to be weightless but still full coverage and apparently 24 hours of wear. They're launching 48 shades, so good for them. But I can't say that I'm altogether interested in this foundation. I would love to see brands, like more brands, pretty much come out with like lighter formulas, but still lighter and more sheer coverage. I feel like right now I look at a full coverage foundation and I'm not looking at it in such a favorable light as I was, say, a year ago. Right now, I personally am not looking for a full coverage foundation. I'm more so looking for something to just even out my complexion and maybe provide a little bit of coverage, and that's pretty much it. I'm already using up the foundations that I have in my collection already. So therefore, I'm looking at this and I'm not that interested. I also really want to talk about this new launch from Violet Voss. They're coming out with this Sugar Crystals palette. It's going to retail for $42. So they have a mix of finishes here. They have a pretty good selection of colors. I do really like this color story. Do I personally find it very like die hard, very inspiring? No, but I love the different finishes. I love like how they did this palette. I am not going to be getting this palette myself, but the color story I really do like. Morphe is personally insulting me with this new palette. I'm kidding. They're not. I'm so like I just want to yell at a few brands here. I know I'm just like so hyper right now and I just need to get it out somehow, so I'm just yelling. So anyway, Morphe is not personally insulting me. That's a joke. I'm just trying to say that I'm really not interested in this palette. The palette is called the 35G palette, and this is it right here. For a neutral palette, it's a pretty good palette in my opinion. Do a lot of the shades possess similar colors to them? Do they look very similar? Yes, they do. They might swatch differently. I have no idea. I have no interest. It's just a neutral palette. So, therefore, not a palette that I'm personally interested in. So, I'm just gonna like step back. But yeah, honestly, Morphe is just one of the many brands that are probably going to come out with like bronzy summer colors, which is fair, but I feel like that's just been a concept that's been played a lot. So yeah, I'm not really interested in this palette at all because I'm not a neutral lover, but this is it, and I don't know pricing. I don't really care to find out because you know, I'm lazy, but this is a palette. It's pretty fair. I mean, like, it's a nice palette, but am I interested in it? No, I'm not. Oh yes, and I completely forgot to mention that they are coming out with what looks like several liquid lipsticks, as well as maybe a few glosses, some bronzers, and a few liquid highlighters. The liquid highlighters I might actually be a little bit interested in, but everything else not really. The bronzers, well, not really actually. I just think that this in general is just not too fun for me. Like, I don't really know why. That red liquid lipstick I might actually get. We will see. We will see. But yeah, I mean, like, there are a few things in this that I'm interested in, such as the highlighters and the liquid lipstick, like the red one, but everything else, not so much. Now, Milani is basically doing something that I absolutely love. They're coming out with liquidy eyeshadows. I'm so excited. And they also have some few lip glosses, and they look beautiful. And they have 3 shades of lip gloss and 3 shades of eyeshadow. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. Okay, you guys know how much I love like liquidy shadows. They're fun. For a while, I was like just wearing liquid shadows with pretty much every single look I did. I've sort of cooled off, sort of. But yeah, I love a good liquidy eyeshadow, and I believe that the eyeshadows were, well, they're called eye toppers, will be $11 each. Kind of expensive for a drugstore brand, but you know. May or may not get them. I don't really know. And then moving on, we have another completely frustrating collection. That's a collaboration between Smashbox and the Hood Witch. I do not know who the Hood Witch is. Let me look this up. Let's see who the Hood Witch is, because I don't know her or him. We have no idea. Okay, the Hood Witch. What is a Hood Witch? Okay, it's a web store. And their entire theme like seems to be like crystals and like witchcraft and all this fun stuff. So that actually makes me even more mad, because the Hood Witch is collaborating with Smashbox. This basically is a collection that has some really intense packaging, and considering that they're collaborating with some like a web store that specializes in like crystals and like witchcraft and everything, you would think that they'd come out with something that was a little bit more fun. But apparently that is impossible for them to do, since they didn't do it. It's just so basic. Elf Cosmetics is also launching a new collaboration with Jay Kissa. If you don't know Jay Kissa, she is a YouTuber slash Instagrammer, pretty much an influencer, and her makeup looks tend to be quite fun. She does a lot of color, so I'm quite interested in seeing what she can bring to the table when it comes to makeup, because I feel like she'll be doing like some kind of colorful makeup thing, like some kind of colorful makeup. I can't really say what she's going to come out with yet, because I don't really have information. However, if I do have any photos or anything when I'm editing this video, I will put them on the screen. But I'm quite interested in this collaboration. It will probably be very well priced because it's Elf, but I really would love to see Jay Kissa's collection. I'm quite excited about this. There might be a few things that I might like from this collection. I don't know if I'm buying anything yet, but I just want to tell you about it just in case. This is something that is quite frustrating. And I actually am so frustrated by this launch that I think I might actually do a redesign of it. I'm already working on it, and I think I'll film it sometime today. Hopefully have it up tomorrow. Might be up on Tuesday. I'm not sure. This is a collaboration between Zoella and ColourPop. They're collaborating, and they're coming out with this collection that is basically themed around brunch. I don't really care too much about the face products and the lip products. The lip products, they have like a few neutrals with some bold colors, and they also have like a few liquid eyeshadows as well. But the eyeshadow palette, that's what I really want to hone in on, because if you look at it, it's just a collection of neutrals with a pop of blue, and it's just not really that much fun. And it's kind of frustrating to me. The reason I'm so frustrated is because this is supposed to be a brunch theme. So, I mean, if you're gonna have like a brunch themed palette, like, why are you making it so neutral? Like, you have so much opportunity to really have some fun with it. I am going to be doing a palette redesign of this palette, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it much, because I do have some critiques. I have some observances, some points that I want to make about Zoella and her relationship to makeup as a whole, but that's not going to happen just yet. It's going to happen in a future video, so stay close. I will be coming out with that soon, but yeah, I'm just not really interested in this collection at all. Now, Suva Beauty is coming out with this Rose Period palette, and it's going to be retailing for $40. Now, I actually really do like this palette. I think it's really cool. It's really interesting. They're taking the rose theme and they're running with it. The colors, everything looks really like rosy theme. There are not a lot of neutrals in here. It's a very colorful palette, which I do like. But I'm not going to be getting this myself because I really do feel like I have so many like pinky, rosy palettes in my collection already. And if not, I definitely have colors that I can dupe for this palette, even though that there are a few shades in this palette that I can't really see any dupes for in my collection. Most notably the third shade on the top row. It's like very unusual, and also the second shade from the right on the top row as well. Those colors look a little bit more unique. I definitely don't have those in my collection, but the price is going to be $40 and it's launching on the 6th of March. But I don't know, like for some reason I'm not too interested in it. I'm not like gonna get it. So this is gonna be a pass. Something that's also launching is from this company called Rude Cosmetics, and they're coming out with a Mer Fantasia palette, and it's gonna be available for $21.50. I think that this palette is a little bit too large for my liking. It's one of those situations where you think that, wow, this is a really great deal, but are the colors in this palette actually going to have any kind of quality to them? Like, are they going to be good quality? That's what I'm trying to like get at, because I feel like if you're getting a palette for so cheap, like they have to have had some kind of like cost cutting somewhere. Like, yeah, I mean, I like the concept, but I think that it's just a little bit too big, and because of the size, I'm just like kind of turned off by it, because not only are there like a whole ton of colors in here, but I'm just like wondering about the quality. I haven't really personally tried anything from this brand, so therefore like that's a question that I'm asking. Another palette that I kind of really do like, this is from Love Lux Beauty. They're coming out with the Pretty Powerful palette, and it's going to be available on the 8th. They have 12 eyeshadow pans, and it's going to be retailing for $50. Now, I liked this palette when I like first looked at it, when I first laid my eyes on it. But now that I'm looking at it again, now that I've had a chance to digest it per se, I am not too intrigued by it because of the presence of neutrals in here. I feel like the bottom, like the left bottom colors, they're kind of like a little bit boring, and just like there are 4 colors in a 12 pan palette that are neutrals, so that kind of turns me off. I know, I'm being very picky, but like as somebody who is okay with being picky when it comes to making decisions about purchasing makeup products, I would like to own that. I think it's okay to be picky when it comes to makeup because you do want to get something that you will end up using. So yeah, I'm not going to be getting this because I don't really think I'll end up using this much. However, if you are, then this is going to be launching on the 8th and it's going to be $50. Also, Linda Hallberg is coming out with some new launches for her makeup line. She is coming out with Eternal Eyeliner, which is going to retail for 20 euros, and a Glow Mist, which is going to be 23 euros. Now, both of these products are launching on March 4th, and honestly, like considering how much everybody is obsessing over Linda Hallberg's makeup line, I see no reason why these products won't be amazing. I can't say that I'll be getting these things, and it's not for the reason that you might think. I just already have a few liquid liners that I'm already using up, and I'm not necessarily looking for a mist, okay? If I'm getting anything from Linda Hallberg, it's gonna be the things that I've already mentioned that I'm kind of eyeing in my like wish lists that I've done. I haven't done a wish list in a while, but my wish list videos are basically videos that I release to you guys, and in those videos I talk to you guys about things that I'm eyeing and just might purchase. So Linda Hallberg's products have been featured in those videos, and I still haven't bought them yet, so I feel like I want to buy those things and then look to her other makeup items as well. So my friends, that is it for this video. Those are all the launches that I wanted to talk about for this week. This is a little bit of a long video. I have been filming for, I think more than an hour, so editing this is gonna be so much fun, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it interesting, maybe looked at some of these things and maybe shared my opinions, maybe didn't. I will be doing redesigns galore. I already have like 3 potential redesign videos that I want to create. I definitely have already finished 2 redesigns that I want to film and edit and put out for you guys. I probably will be doing the Zoella one first, and then I will also reveal to you the other 2 that I have planned in the near future as well. If you are interested in seeing those videos and you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I post videos on my channel every single day, and most of them are about makeup. I try to go into other topics every now and then when I feel like it, but most of my channel is all about makeup, and I post every single day. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.